Prominent LGBTQ plus activist is facing charges. Kendall Stephens, who was the victim of a violent assault back in 2020, is accused of raping 2 children. Shayna.
Well, Sheba, as you mentioned right there, Kendall Stephens has been a very prominent figure here in Philadelphia, a prominent trans activist serving notably on the district attorney's LGBTQ advisory board. But this recent affidavit that I obtained details disturbing allegations of rape and abuse of 2 minors. We spoke to a family member exclusively. We're keeping her identity anonymous out of respect for the alleged victims.
She's a family friend who has been around since they were born.
The aunt of 2 young boys opening up after what court documents allege was repeated sexual abuse by a person her nephews knew as Aunt Kendall.
You had this aunt stature in their life, whereas they're going to look at you and think, I don't want to tell an adult because I don't want something bad to happen to Aunt Kendall.
Prominent Philadelphia trans activist Kendall Stephens stands accused of rape and sexual assault of 2 young boys ages 9 and 13. Stephens is known for her vocal activism surrounding LGBTQ issues, serving on the district attorney's advisory board, and most recently made headlines back in 2020 after she survived a brutal hate crime in her Point Breeze home. But an affidavit obtained by Fox 29 details disturbing allegations of multiple sexual encounters with the young boys. The family says Stephens was a close family friend.
We were able to sit them down individually is when they start breaking down and telling the truth and crying and saying everything that happened.
She says when she and her mother approached Stephens,
she didn't deny it to us. She didn't deny it. And she tried to flip the story as in my nephew tried to kiss her first. He's 9 years old. No, he didn't.
The family member, speaking anonymously to Fox 29, says the emotional toll this has taken on her family has been devastating.
So I feel like she was grooming my nephews. My nephews has definitely endured a lot.
Despite that, she says her family won't back down on their fight for justice.
I don't want her to be able to use this reputation and think that that's going to be able to get her out of this situation, because what she did to my nephews is unbelievable.
Now, we did reach out to the law firm representing Kendall Stephens, and they did get back to me. They said that they fully look forward to fighting these charges. They say she is enjoying her constitutional rights, including the presumption of innocence. Also, an important note tonight, the district attorney's office is not handling this case. They passed this along, actually, to the attorney general's office. They offered no comment tonight. Kendall Stephens is expected to face a judge on December 29th.
So you heard it first. You heard it yourself. A transgender activist in Philadelphia named Kendall Stephens has just been caught up with raping 2 young boys. There's a myriad of issues here, and we got to go ahead and break it down. And it's just extremely problematic. I've already done the background on this. Kendall Stephens is not their biological aunt or their uncle. She's not related to these young boys at all. And the aunt who allowed Kendall Stephens to be around these 2 young boys, that's a problem. Now, the black community is well known that black women love to keep gay men around them. But you should never have anybody who is not related to your children around children. Even if they are related, you need to watch these people. Because today we live in a world of freaks, and people do all types of silly ass shit. And this is prime example number 1. So right off rip, one thing that I found that was really disgusting was how the district attorney's office immediately passed this on to a higher level because they didn't want to deal with it. That goes to show already these people don't care about kids. They just care about their image. They care about their reputation and what their standing is with the LGBT community. It's just disgusting, bro. All right, we need to be protecting children, and right now this is not protecting children. So before I make accusations about this person and their character, just a little backstory on who Kendall Stephens was. Kendall Stephens came into prominence after he was attacked by a group of people outside of his home a few years ago for just being trans, as the news says. And we'll never know if he went up to them boys playing around or whatnot, but that's what happened. Kendall then catapulted off of that event and became an advocate for LGBT rights. And it was what he was doing for years and years up until this point. So as the video says, he was confronted by the actual aunt of these 2 boys. And he didn't deny anything. And he tried to turn it around. But isn't that what a predator does? There's always signs that somebody's trying to groom a child. It's just up to you to pay attention to see what's going on. It's a sad day that shit happened to those boys. And we already know that when events like this happen, that's their introduction into that lifestyle. I mean, there's gonna be trauma. There's gonna be how many other things that these boys gotta deal with. And if you can't protect them boys from someone like him, you're not gonna be able to help them through those issues. So I really wanted to dig in and try to understand, who is this person? How did this happen? So I found this page here with some backstory on this monster. What we got here? Arrested for assaulting. You see how these people go out their way to protect individuals in this community, especially when they're doing wrong? The charge should read aggravated child sodomizing. Well, in most places, that's not even a charge anymore. It's been outdated. It's truly disgusting. So disgusting, in fact, that even Dr. Umar has something to say about this too.
A prominent rainbow activist in Philadelphia. A prominent rainbow activist in Philadelphia was arrested on charges that she allegedly abused 2 children. A rainbow ganger in Philadelphia was arrested on charges that she abused 2 children. It's all over the news. I want to offer a few comments. I'm only going to keep you for 10 minutes, but I'm going to offer a few comments on this. I want to offer a few comments on this. First of all, let me see here. Okay. The arrest of 37-year-old rainbow activist Kendall Stephens, arrested Monday in Philadelphia on charges including indecent assault, endangering the welfare of a child, corruption of a minor. Related charges on Monday following a comprehensive investigation, Philadelphia Police Department spokesperson told Newsweek. Okay? This rainbow community lady is a transgender. Okay? And I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't believe that all transgenders abuse children. I don't believe that all rainbow gangers abuse children. But I do want to let you know this. As someone who has worked with children for 25 years, psychologically, therapeutically, socially, and every other way, many of our children come into that lifestyle by way of introduction, by way of child molestation. Okay? And we in the Black community have been in denial. And one of the biggest reasons we in the Black community have been in denial about the Molest to Rainbow pipeline. The reason so many of us in the Black community have been in denial about the Molest to Rainbow pipeline. Many of us in the Black community are in denial about the child molest to Rainbow gang pipeline. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And the reason we are in denial about the child molest to Rainbow gang pipeline is if we were to admit as Africans, if we were to admit that many of our rainbow gang adults were actually introduced into the lifestyle through childhood molestation, if we were to admit that would force us as a community to take a long, hard look in the mirror. It would force us as a community to take a long, hard look at ourselves.
So here we go, because we damn sure can't rely on the allies in the public to give us the real facts. So here we go from the news source itself. Rape, forcible compulsion. Forcible compulsion, I don't know what IDSI stands for. Unlawful contact with minors, sexual offenses. Endangering welfare of children, parent guarding other commits offense. Corruption of minors, defendant 18 or above. Indecent assault, person less than 13 years of age, disseminating explicit sexual material with a minor, and corruption of minors. And when we sit here and we let these people sit here and say that all of these things are social constructs, look at the law. The law has been around for hundreds of years in most of these places. Corruption of minors. What the hell do you think that means? Dude, I'm sitting here and racked up 8 goddamn charges over this incident. And watch, they're still going to try to miraculously make this disappear because they always will at least try. If you go back to the news clip, what do they say? Kendall Stephens is enjoying his constitutional right. He shouldn't be enjoying shit.
The presumption of innocence. Also, an important note tonight, the district attorney's office is not handling this case. They passed this along, actually, to the attorney general's office. They offered no comment tonight. Kendall Stephens is expected to face a judge on December 29th.
It ain't about him being trans. It ain't about him being a fucking weirdo. It's about him touching kids with his nasty ass meat. You going meat to meat with children, man. Boys. What is your fuck is this man's problem? This is disgusting, bro. Shit pisses me the fuck off, bro.
Against a person less than 13 years old, rape, unlawful contact with minors, sexual offenses, and endangering the welfare of children, parent or guardian. Stephens came to Action News in August of 2020.
Look at this freak ass dude, man. Who in the fuck? Only a black woman. Only a old hood rat ass black woman who just wants to be go along to get along. Who in the hell has this person around their kids? He is not related to these children by blood in any manner, any shape or form. And you had this dude around them kids. And what happened. Anybody could have told you that. If we take off these dunce caps that the public and the news is telling us to put on, we can think about this shit logically and come to a conclusion that maybe this is not a good idea. Maybe it's not. It's so disgusting, bro. Like, we at such a place where we keep calling these people hers. I mean, after they've done something like this, all that shit should be off the table. We don't knock the Kool-Aid, the plate of food off the table. Like, nah, man, all that shit is null and void. How much you want to bet this dude's gonna get convicted? You're gonna get sent to prison time. He's gonna be trying to go into a women's camp. Watch. Because he don't want to be around men. Unless he's trying to get his thing to it. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to come in and, discuss this real quick, man. Cover this disgusting ass story. And y'all stay safe. Watch your kids. Don't trust your kids with or around anybody. Because it's just that quick. Everything could change. Y'all stay safe.